Hey guys, it's Sophie Cunningham here. I'm finally in Indiana and I am so excited to be here and meet all of you. See you guys at the game. Bye.
Those aren't the words of someone who doesn't want to play for the Indiana Fever. No, those are the words of Sophie Cunningham, the WNBA enforcer, who just landed in Indiana and is ready to shake things up for Caitlin Clark and the squad.
Finally here!
All right.
While Cheryl Swoops said nobody wants to play in Indiana, Sophie Cunningham was lighting up the internet with excitement about joining the Fever. In this video, we'll break down Sophie's thoughts on Caitlin Clark, her first day with the team, and how she's shutting down the haters.
Oh gosh, this is the first time I've seen my jersey. Oh, I love this. It's like I'm a rookie all over again.
What if I told you that while Cheryl Swoops was running her mouth about nobody wanting to play for Indiana, Sophie Cunningham was poolside in Phoenix when she got the trade call? And her reaction? Not disappointment, not hesitation, just pure excitement.
Where were you when you found out about this, and what was kind of that general reaction to a fresh start here?
Yeah, you guys will learn that if I'm not in the gym, I'm normally by the pool. And so I was actually poolside when I found out. And, there's a lot of emotions just because I have been out there for so long. But to be honest, my original thought was like, oh, heck yeah. Like, we're about to go win a championship. Like, that's exactly where my mind went. And like I said, it's all about the people. It's about the culture. I learned a lot out there, but now I'm ready to move on to something bigger, something better, and have a lot of really great players around me to, seriously go win a championship.
That's right. The idea that top players don't want to join the Fever just got completely shattered. While the haters were busy cooking up their next criticism, Sophie was already gearing up for a championship run in Indiana. Talk about shutting down all that negativity.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I'm so excited. I think it's refreshing. I've been in Phoenix for the past 6 years, was drafted out there. I've had a really great time. I've been very blessed with being around a lot of GOATs in the game and learning the game on another level. But again, this is just a new style. And this is the style that I thrive in. When you have people who can shoot the ball, who move the ball, who are running gunners, and share the ball, this is the type of offense that I want to be in.
When Sophie finally stepped into Gainbridge Fieldhouse, her excitement was absolutely contagious. The Fever's social media captured her pure joy as she took in her new basketball home. In one video that quickly went viral, Sophie introduced herself with all-out enthusiasm.
Yeah, I'm just stoked. And like I said, the offense is more my style, but I'm also surrounded by a great culture and great people. And that's what I'm also very excited about, to be here in Indiana.
But there's something even deeper about this move for Sophie. As a Missouri native, returning to the Midwest feels like coming home. I love it, she said during her intro to the Indiana media. My roots are here in the Midwest, and just being closer to home. This wasn't just a trade, it was a return to her heartland.
How impactful will it be for you and your family to be back here in the Midwest, something that Caitlin had as well, and within driving distance for everyone, right?
I love it. My roots are here in the Midwest, and just to be closer to home. My sister is married and has a kid, has another one on the way, and family is everything to me. I have a really great support system, and you better believe I've already had over 100, 200 people reach out. Hey, how do we get season tickets? I was like, I have no idea. I just got traded 2 hours ago. So I think we're going to have a pretty cool fan base up here from Missouri. But again, it's my Midwest roots. I'm excited to be around Midwesterners again. It's my type of people, and so I'm happy to be here.
What makes Sophie's arrival even more impactful is how it's already shaping team chemistry. In a league where some stars bring egos bigger than their talent, Sophie wasted no time stressing the importance of a selfless culture.
I'm just excited, but to be honest, I think when you have a group that can let go of the egos and you're really just here to win and work hard, I think that's the best type of group, and you're all willing to do the dirty work, and I think that's what I'm most excited about. That's my bread and butter right there, is outwork your opponents and have fun doing it.
Fans flooded social media with excitement, showing overwhelming support for seeing her in action. The connection was immediate. No adjustment period needed. Sophie didn't just join the team, she fully embraced it from day one.
Now that I've been here, and I have been paying a lot more attention to it, and it's crazy, right? Like it's a whirlwind, and there's an adjustment period not only for her but for her teammates around her, for Indiana as a whole. But I think it's all really good things, and so it takes a little bit to get adjusted to it. But after that, I mean, come on, it's part of something great that doesn't come around very often, and so if you're not paying attention, I don't know what you're doing.
This is exactly the type of addition the Fever needed. Someone who truly wants to be there, believes in the vision, and brings both skill and energy to the locker room. While critics like Swoops cling to outdated narratives, players like Sophie are backing it up with their actions, proving that Indiana has become a destination franchise in the WNBA.
I know you said earlier this month that you'd do the Sabrina Carpenter to Caitlin's Taylor Swift.
That was a joke, but I guess people really took that seriously.
People love it. What excites you about playing with her this year?
I mean, she has changed our game in the best possible way in every way. And so just to be alongside of her and maybe relieve the pressure, being able to shoot and spread the court for her to go do her thing.
Remember all those times last season when opponents treated Caitlin Clark like a punching bag? The cheap shots, the hard screens, the unnecessary contact after whistles? Well, the Fever just added the one thing Clark desperately needed but didn't have. A true enforcer ready to make opponents think twice.
She's still young, and I think that I've been Diana took me under her wing, and I've learned a lot from her, and now I hope to kind of do the same for Caitlin if she wants it. I just think the relationship piece is huge, and when you're trying to do something great, it takes everybody, and so I want her to go do her thing, and anything she needs from me, I'm going to be here. But again, I think that just the competitor that I am, I'm fierce, I'm sassy. I stick up for my teammates, stick up for myself, and so sometimes I think that's okay to be feisty and to be yourself.
Sophie Cunningham isn't just bringing her game to Indiana, she's bringing her reputation as one of the WNBA's fiercest competitors, the kind of player that makes opponents think twice before crossing her. In her introductory press conference, Sophie made it clear, "I'm fierce, I'm sassy, I stick up for my teammates, I stick up for myself." And those 5 words about sticking up for her teammates? They might be the most important thing Caitlin Clark's heard all offseason.
Excited to play in front of the fans. I think that she's drawn a lot of people, not only to Indiana, but to the women's game as a whole. And so just to be a part of something great, just really happy to be here.
Let's be real. Last season was tough for the rookie superstar. We all saw Caitlin Clark get knocked around, bumped, and targeted game after game with little to no repercussions. The physicality kept ramping up, and it felt like her teammates were either too slow or unwilling to step in and send a message. It was like watching a boxing match where only one fighter had someone in their corner.
Caitlin Clark was getting hit a lot. She was getting hit a lot early, and they needed their Charles Oakley. You've got that in Sophie Cunningham.
This is where Sophie Cunningham steps up. Throughout her career in Phoenix, Sophie became known as the ultimate teammate protector. When opponents targeted Mercury stars, they knew they'd have to answer to her. Now, she's made it clear that same protection is coming to Caitlin Clark and the rest of the Fever roster.
There are so many videos of Sophie Cunningham just starting brawls.
Sophie isn't just about getting physical, she's all in when it comes to doing the dirty work. Whether finishing through contact or creating space, she thrives in those moments. This toughness fills a major gap the Fever had last season, especially when the game got physical.
If she hits a 3, Maisha Hines-Allen fouls her and then tries to step over, and then Sophie Cunningham grabs her leg. Nobody's going near Maisha Hines-Allen, but no, Sophie Cunningham will start the fight. The refs are trying to break it up. None of the Mercury players are going to go near Maisha Hines-Allen. They're scared. She's scared of bejesus out of them. Maisha Hines-Allen's one of the toughest players in this league. Sophie Cunningham going head to head straight with her.
When you're trying to do something great, it takes everybody. I want her to do her thing. Anything she needs from me, I'm going to be here, Sophie declared, setting the tone for what her role in Indiana will be. With those words, she made it crystal clear that protecting Caitlin Clark isn't just an afterthought. It's a core part of her mission. Sophie's ability to take on the physical grind, absorb the hits, and finish plays through defenders will be the shield Clark desperately needs. No longer will Clark have to worry about the constant hits. With Sophie in the mix, she'll be free to shine without looking over her shoulder. The enforcer has arrived, and she's got Clark's back every step of the way.
But I wanted to point this out really quick because this was some of the most weirdest, feminist, nasty agenda I've ever seen put on ESPN.
Did ESPN try to cover something up? Brand new deleted footage unveils Elle Duncan's jaw-dropping response to Caitlin Clark's NBA three-point contest rejection, and it's even more explosive than expected. Although ESPN swiftly removed Duncan's contentious remarks from their YouTube channel, we've got the original footage that exposes the full story.
Now, if you all don't know, there is a silent kind of behind-the-scenes war going on with new people covering the WNBA and old people covering the WNBA. And, you know, a lot of the old WNBA people don't want the new people to be covering the WNBA, right? And going into this, I would definitely say Elle Duncan is a part of the old WNBA coverage team.
The rift between traditional and modern WNBA media coverage has reached a critical tipping point, and Duncan's remarks on Clark's decision could be the most polarizing take this year. Let's unpack what ESPN might be trying to keep under wraps.
Elle Duncan comes in with her disturbing, nasty take of this whole thing. Basically trying to make Caitlin Clark's decision a nasty feminist FU to the NBA. It's ridiculous, man.
The WNBA universe is buzzing right now, and what just unfolded on ESPN's First Take might be one of the most eye-opening moments in recent sports journalism. I'm here to break it all down, because this isn't merely about a removed clip. It's about a long-standing divide in women's basketball coverage. Picture this. ESPN airs a routine First Take segment discussing Caitlin Clark's decision to decline an invitation to the NBA's three-point contest. At first glance, it seems like standard fare, right? But here's the twist. A crucial piece of footage mysteriously vanished when ESPN uploaded the segment to YouTube. Trust me, once you hear what Elle Duncan had to say in that missing clip, you'll understand why this is sparking such intense debate. Stick with me as we uncover the full story.
Just stick with me. This is the original content posted on YouTube. Just stick with me.
Games, and I've seen a lot of games, women's basketball games,
and they competed.
Arike Ogunbowale got MVP. She had a crazy second half. Everyone competed. People are starting to appreciate the women's game for that approach because we understand what's at stake in this moment. And for Caitlin Clark to have the awareness to drive the eyeballs there, you have to give her so much credit for that.
Okay, you saw how it skipped right there? That is where Elle Duncan came in with her crazy, asinine statement.
Let's begin with what everyone witnessed. The segment opens as expected with Stephen A. Smith and Chiney Ogwumika discussing Clark's decision. Chiney's insights were nothing short of brilliant. She emphasized the fiercely competitive nature of last year's WNBA All-Star Game, underscored the elite level of play in women's basketball, and made her points without alienating anyone. It was a masterclass in championing women's sports while forging connections rather than burning bridges. Then came Elle Duncan's segment, the very part ESPN tried to keep out of the spotlight. I managed to secure the original TV footage, and believe me, it's incredibly revealing. Duncan wasn't just providing commentary, she was pushing what many are calling a concerning and divisive feminist agenda that completely misread the situation.
Caitlin Clark, to have the awareness to drive the eyeballs there, you have to give her so much credit for that.
Then the reason why, Janae, the reason why is because these women know that every opportunity they have on this platform, they have to ball out because they have to completely turn around tropes or ideas or narratives or discourse. Like all of that is always on their shoulders, which is why not only do I think that this move by Caitlin Clark is the right move, I think it's incredibly empowering.
Elle Duncan doesn't stop there. She just goes on and on. You can tell the jealousy is real. This is more than just reporting. It looks like pure hatred to me. let's get right back into it.
Because Stephen A, when we watched that three-point contest last year in the NBA, and we all enjoyed it, and it was so much fun, what did immediately those of us in the W space say? All right, Steph, now return the favor and go do the same thing at the W, right? In years past, for generations past, women had to legitimize being mainstream by being validated in a male space.
Wow, this is truly something. What are your thoughts on this speech so far? Let me know in the comments below. And now let's continue.
And now Caitlin Clark is saying that my power and cachet is not for loan. I am going to go and improve the league that I believe in and care in. And the idea that she said, I'm going to make sure the first three-point contest I participate in will be the W one. She didn't do it last year. Lord knows she was tired and didn't want to, right? Like it took everything she had just to get through that game, and she was fantastic. But I love this, and what I hope it does, listen, Caitlin Clark is a one-of-one in many ways, and we understand that. So not everybody has that ability, that cachet and all that clout to move the needle, to draw those kinds of ratings. But what I hope that it does is empower the next generation, the Paige Beckers, the Juju Watkins behind her, the Hannah.
Duncan's commentary takes an even more controversial turn when she implies that rising stars like Juju Watkins and Hailey Van Lith should mimic Clark by refusing to participate in mainstream male-centered events. This is where the issue deepens. She's essentially promoting a form of segregation in basketball coverage, when what we really need to be focusing on is integration and mutual support.
I'm so tired of it. It just makes no sense to me, and I'm tired that we keep giving it so much energy, and I'm tired of it being people who are not in this circle or space at all who suddenly have all these opinions about how these women need to treat Caitlin Clark. What do you want from them? They want to beat her because she's not on their team. Isn't that how it's supposed to be? Y'all stop it. We already know she's transformational. They've all said it. How many times do they gotta say it?
Let's unpack why this perspective is so off the mark. For starters, the NBA and WNBA share a mutually beneficial relationship. The NBA not only helps subsidize the WNBA, but also supplies essential infrastructure, marketing support, and overall momentum to grow women's basketball. With NBA Commissioner Adam Silver standing as one of the league's most vocal advocates, reducing this partnership to a gender war isn't just misguided. It could actually hurt the very league Duncan claims to support. Think back to when Sabrina Ionescu participated in the NBA three-point contest. That event wasn't merely a win for the NBA, it served as a massive boost for the WNBA as well. Ionescu's appearance attracted new fans, spiked Liberty jersey sales, and elevated the profile of the women's game. Yet, according to Duncan's narrative, that move was somehow a bid for male validation. The frustrating part is her complete dismissal of the storied history of WNBA stars, who forged their legacies solely on the strength of women's basketball. While Duncan argues that male validation is necessary for the sport's legitimacy, icons like Maya Moore and Lisa Leslie have long proven that their incredible achievements speak for themselves. What's even more telling is ESPN's decision to remove this segment from their YouTube channel. This action clearly indicates that they recognized how incendiary and potentially damaging Duncan's comments could be. Fortunately, thanks to viewers who recorded the live broadcast, we can examine exactly what was said and have a genuine conversation about it. The timing of this controversy is critical. Women's basketball is in a golden era, with stars like Caitlin Clark drawing record crowds and generating unprecedented excitement. The last thing the sport needs is divisive rhetoric from someone who's supposed to be one of its biggest media advocates.
The media, all they talk about is Caitlin. Caitlin could throw somebody a bounce pass. Oh my God, she threw it, it's all about Caitlin.
Remember all the girls that were just all talking shit about her from the beginning? This was a tune change because that's how they roll. That WNBA is woke as shit. The NBA is woke as shit. And they had to tell her, you better change your thing or we're not going to get behind you 100%. And she did. She bowed down, and that's exactly what happened.
Caitlin Clark was honored as Time's Athlete of the Year, a significant recognition for such a rising talent. However, her achievement has been eclipsed by the uproar over her remarks in the accompanying interview. In the discussion, Clark mentioned, I want to say I've earned every single thing, but as a white person, there is a privilege, and a lot of those players in the league that have been really good have been black players. This league has kind of been built on them. These comments have ignited passionate debates. Some commend her for bringing attention to racial disparities, a persistent issue in both sports and society. Others have taken issue, alleging that she has succumbed to societal pressures and compromised her true self. As supporters and critics clash over her statements, the pressing question emerges: what does this mean for Caitlin Clark's future and her bond with her fan base? Stay tuned as we examine reactions from influential voices in the media, starting with Candace Owens, who unexpectedly supports Clark while addressing the larger controversy.
She's 22 years old. I don't know a single commentator out there, Megyn Kelly included, who did not at some point throughout their political career have the wrong perspectives. But for whatever reason, we've decided Caitlyn's not allowed that time to grow. She's not allowed time to change. She's got to be a perfect MAGA candidate and I guess stand up to the entire mob. This girl's literally being bullied, physically bullied, I will say, by the way, on the court. And we know the basis of that is quite racist. I think she just wants to survive. I think genuinely Caitlyn just wants to survive.
It's impressive to reflect on the accomplishments Caitlin Clark has achieved at such a young age. Her swift rise to prominence can make her youth easy to overlook, but it's crucial to offer her understanding as she maneuvers through this intense spotlight and becomes entangled in cultural debates. Next, we highlight a statement from David Portnoy, the founder of Barstool Sports and a prominent social media influencer. Unlike many commentators involved in the Caitlin Clark controversy, Portnoy is a genuine sports enthusiast. He shared his honest opinions in an informal rant posted on his Instagram and Twitter, providing his perspective on both Clark's remarks and the public's reaction to them.
Caitlin Clark's popularity has absolutely nothing to do with the color of her skin. Anybody who has actually watched women's basketball or watched Caitlin knows she plays totally different than any woman before her.
Portnoy disputes the claim that Caitlin Clark's achievements are solely the result of white privilege, highlighting the indisputable truth that her remarkable basketball talent set her apart. Her extraordinary level of play is the genuine reason she is hailed as the leading figure in women's basketball today, potentially the greatest in the sport's entire history. Portnoy also addresses the problem of commentators engaging in the debate without being true basketball enthusiasts. He emphasizes how voices from all sides of the cultural conflict are capitalizing on Caitlin Clark's fame, using her as a symbol for agendas she doesn't actually support. This misrepresentation has caused her words and character to be distorted by those eager to shape the narrative to fit their own perspectives.
All the people who are like co-opting this, who aren't real basketball fans, who aren't real Caitlin Clark fans, are like, oh, the woke mob got to her. She's now saying her success is because of the skin and she has privilege. First of all, she didn't say she had that. She said she earned everything she got. But what do you want Caitlin Clark to do?
Portnoy further elaborates on his viewpoint, indicating that the circumstances surrounding Caitlin Clark's remarks significantly influence her decision to address such issues. He contends that her statements are more of a deliberate tactic to navigate the complexities of her WNBA career rather than a sincere political position. According to Portnoy, Caitlin's main objective is to steer clear of divisive debates, choosing instead to avoid controversy and focus on her performance on the court.
She plays in a league that is predominantly African American, and she wants to maybe show up at work and not have people hate her. She wants the league to be successful. The more successful, more stars, the better it is for her and everybody in the league. This backlash of Caitlin turned on the league and Caitlin is woke and Caitlin is this. You fuckers are crazy. And that's what I hate. This, for Caitlin, has never been about politics, never been about race.
The controversy surrounding Caitlin Clark may be increasing her visibility and online presence, but it's evident that she prefers to steer clear of the limelight it brings. Naturally humble, Clark has never sought to become a political icon. Her unwavering dedication has always been to basketball. It's her passion, her strength, and the reason she earned the title of Time's Athlete of the Year. Although the debates and discussions surrounding her have certainly amplified her fame, perhaps it's time to let her shine in her true element, performing basketball at an exceptional level. This sentiment was echoed by the legendary sportscaster Dan Patrick, who encouraged everyone to simply admire greatness when it's right before us, as it is with Caitlin Clark. With decades of experience in sports, Patrick recognizes how rare and transient moments of brilliance can be. He highlights just how unique and generational Clark's talent is, urging us to appreciate her presence in the game instead of criticizing her.
Can't we just acknowledge Caitlin Clark changed the WNBA? That's it. It's okay. You want to throw in Angel Reese. You want to throw the memory of Cheryl Miller or Cynthia Cooper. Like, it's a win. We got to... Just, this is a unique moment. Caitlin Clark did for the WNBA what Wayne Gretzky did for the NHL when he went to the LA Kings.
There's no need to politicize every action a public figure takes. Sometimes, we should pause to appreciate the qualities that made them outstanding from the start. Acknowledging Caitlin Clark for her exceptional athletic prowess doesn't detract from other athletes. Dan Patrick highlights this idea, encouraging us to honor greatness for what it truly represents.
It's okay. Take a victory lap. You don't have to go, oh my God, these people are mad, or this person's mad, or this group is mad. Caitlin Clark changed the WNBA. It's okay. It's okay to say that. You're not diminishing what the founding, fathers of the WNBA did. You're not. She's the Time Person of the Year.
In summary, Caitlin Clark's remarkable achievements at a young age have firmly established her as a standout star in women's basketball, culminating in her recognition as Time's Athlete of the Year. However, her success has not been without controversy, particularly regarding her comments on privilege and race, which have ignited a heated debate among fans and critics alike. David Portnoy has emerged as a key voice in her defense, emphasizing that Clark's extraordinary talent is the true foundation of her acclaim and criticizing those who exploit her fame for ulterior motives. Meanwhile, legendary sportscaster Dan Patrick echoes the sentiment that Clark should be celebrated for her unparalleled basketball skills, rather than being entangled in political discourse. As the discussions continue, the overarching message remains clear. Caitlin Clark deserves to be appreciated for her exceptional abilities on the court, allowing her to shine without the burden of unnecessary politicization. Moving forward, it is essential to honor her contributions to the sport and support her journey, recognizing that her brilliance is what truly makes her a deserving Athlete of the Year.
I'm here with my dog, my teammate. I'm super hyped to have my girl here. Two-time WNBA All-Star, Kelsey Mitchell. What's good with it?
What's up, gang?
7 seasons, 4 head coaches, and a playoff drought that felt unending. Kelsey Mitchell's tenure with the Indiana Fever has been a roller coaster of obstacles and breakthroughs, but the 2024 season completely transformed her story.
Tell them a little bit about yourself.
Oh, me, I'm a Midwestern girl, born and raised in Cincinnati, Ohio, 513 kid. It's kind of tough to come out of where I come from because it's so small, and so you get what you get. It's kind of a dense city. It's not as like a Miami or like Atlanta, so you kind of get what you get. And so I grew up hooping through my family. I come from a family dynamic of just sports. My dad was he went to school to play football. So he met my mom at Eastern Kentucky.
Okay.
And that's how I was brought into this world.
In an unfiltered conversation with teammate Erica Wheeler that's sending shockwaves through the basketball community, Mitchell bears it all about the wild ride of her career and the catalyst behind the Fever's revitalization. She dives into everything. From the heartbreak of last season's struggles to the euphoria of becoming a WNBA All-Star, and even her candid opinions on Caitlin Clark and the fans, Kelsey leaves nothing unsaid, ready to see how one player's arrival reshaped not only a team's destiny, but also completely transformed Mitchell's view of the game. Let's dive in.
Basketball was just always a safe haven. I kind of took it from there, just, utilized what I knew about it. And that's how I knew what my lifestyle was, just through hoop. I had friends through hoop. I just, you kind of gain a lifestyle, and the rest was kind of history.
Yeah,
I look back at it now. I went from Cincinnati and I went up the street to Columbus, to Ohio State University, and I was always a homebody, but I knew I wanted to get out of Cincinnati. That was clear. And once I became a Buckeye, I kind of chose being a Buckeye.
Picture this: you're Kelsey Mitchell, the second overall pick in the 2018 WNBA draft. You're set to ignite the league and drive your team to greatness. Yet instead of basking in championship parades, you endure a relentless string of losses. For years, that was the harsh reality for Kelsey with the Indiana Fever.
You and E both been here for a number of years, right? Yeah. Y'all done been through the tough years. Well, you really got to grind it out. Tough season.
What, you were 7 years here?
All 7.
All 7. You ain't never been to another team.
Girl.
7 years and how many years?
So I was here from 2015 to.
She was my back.
Hey, wait. Wait. Don't count my age right now on TV. Don't do that. Don't do me like that.
When Mitchell first arrived in Indiana, she was bursting with promise and potential. The Fever were excited about their new star, though they had no idea of the obstacles that awaited them. Season after season, wins proved to be elusive. The Fever not only missed the playoffs once or twice, they went 7 straight seasons without a playoff appearance. In one particularly rough season, they managed a mere 5 victories. Can you imagine the weight of that disappointment? Yet, despite the team's struggles, Mitchell's individual talent shone brightly. She wasn't just good, she was consistently exceptional. From 2018 to 2023, Mitchell averaged more than 16 points per game, a testament not to a brief hot streak, but to nearly half a decade of elite scoring.
The first 3 years, you can kind of sum it up. You ain't got to give me a long story. I was there with you for 2 of them, so kind of give me what that rough patch was like, and then we can kind of skip through and get to where you at right now.
Yet, individual achievements can only conceal team frustration for so long. Mitchell, always the fierce competitor, began to question her future in Indiana. The points kept stacking up, and the accolades kept rolling in. Yet something crucial was missing. In her own words, the points were just points, and the accolades merely accolades. It simply wasn't sufficient. What she longed for was that winning team spirit, not just personal triumph. You can truly feel the hunger for collective success in every word she speaks.
Yeah, I think Indy, those from my year 1 through 3.5. Well, let me just say this. I went through my 7 years in Indy. I've had 4 head coaches. So that within itself was kind of like, no one really knows what an experience of like the black stick at the bottom. Trust me, I've been there. Trust me. So I was, that's really how it started,
Now, let's dive into the topic of stability, or rather, the striking lack of it. Picture trying to construct a championship contender when the architect is swapped out every season. That's exactly the scenario Mitchell and the Fever encountered. 4 head coaches in 7 years, each with a distinct voice, system, and vision. How can anyone find their footing when the ground is constantly in flux?
When y'all left, it was still a rebuild stage. So different coaches got hired. And I think that at that point, Delby was trying to figure out whether I would keep swimming or if I would sink individually. And I'll be honest, I didn't know what would happen in my career. I didn't know how it would turn out because the points were the points, the accolades were the accolades, but it wasn't enough.
That team winning. Team, not individual, team.
Yeah. And anybody that wanted to compete and be a winner,
it's about team.
It's about team.
But here's where Kelsey Mitchell's true character emerges. While many might have asked for a trade or let their effort falter, Mitchell did not waver. Her work ethic became the stuff of legend within the organization. She was often the first to arrive at the gym and the last to leave. Day in and day out, loss after loss, she kept pushing, striving, and believing. With every defeat, her determination only grew stronger. She made a career-defining choice to be part of the solution. It's one thing to stick around when everything's going well, but Mitchell's unwavering loyalty through the toughest years is truly rare.
It's unfortunate, and I just think the hand I was dealt was like, I take what's, I trusted in the organization in different ways, from like the management and the people that they brought in, and so I just kind of like trusted the wave, and so I look back on trusting that wave now, and now I'm here. I don't know what.
You really started over 4 times though.
I did.
Like every time you get a new coach, you kind of really start over because you got to build that relationship with that coach. Although the coach know who you are, they know the players they have in the locker room. It's a different ball game for sure.
I was in survival mode when I put my back against the wall, and so what everybody see now is just I've always been a fighter. I've always kind of had to compete and find a different way to,
And in 2023, that steadfast dedication finally paid off. After years of individual excellence overshadowed by team struggles, Kelsey Mitchell received the validation she so richly deserved. For the first time in her career, she was selected as an All-Star, a moment of triumph that recognized not only her remarkable skills on the court, but also her relentless perseverance through adversity. Mitchell's journey is a powerful testament to the rewards of resilience and loyalty, proving that even amidst constant challenges, staying true to your mission can lead to ultimate success.
Loyola University basketball coach Cheryl Swoops, she's under investigation, accused of mistreating players. One of them is speaking out this morning, telling us why she wanted to transfer. ABC's Lindsay Davis is here with the details. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Lara. Cheryl Swoops was the first woman to ever sign with the WNBA. But this morning, the college coach is not only under fire, but under investigation after reports that the majority of her roster has decided to leave.
They fired her. They didn't just replace Cheryl Swoops, they booted her out. And why? Because of Caitlin Clark.
There's a lot of other going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Over there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Some new shit going on around there.
It's a lot. So you have players that are very significant on this Indiana Fever team that are like, I don't
want to be here.
This is where I want to be.
Yeah, Nelissa.
Months ago, Swoops sat on her high horse predicting disaster for the Indiana Fever. She, Miss Caitlin Clark, boldly claimed no one would want to play in Indiana and confidently declared that top-tier talent would never sign there.
Hey, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for checking out this video. As always, appreciate your support. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19. Let's go. So I wanted to do a little bit of a dive into the Fever roster, what that looks like. Now that we've gotten through the bulk of the free agency offseason, we've seen a lot of changes.
Fast forward to today, and the Fever just made the most game-changing free agency move in WNBA history.
The way they came back the second game, it just makes you excited to, okay, I want to be a part of that. They didn't lay down and quit. They came back and actually try to beat us early, that next game. So.
Superstar signings, game changers, and swoops.
So y'all can record this, you cannot record it, but the biggest thing I want everybody to hear me say right now.
She's been strangely silent. Ever seen someone talk a big game, then disappear? That's exactly what's going down right now. Indiana just dropped a statement that's sending ripples through the entire league, and we're here to dissect every bit of it.
All right, Hoop Queens, gather around because we've got some major tea brewing in the WNBA. Indiana Fever just landed Brianna Turner in free agency. Brianna Turner, let that sink in.
Before we dive into the good stuff, take a moment to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Keep up with all the latest WNBA news, expert analysis, and the drama you won't get anywhere else. Now, let's get into it.
But I think you're starting to get a little bit more shine from maybe the casual fan.
and maybe some folks who maybe didn't know or haven't seen Indiana as much as they've seen this year.
I agree.
So what's that part like, you know, getting that little bit more attention and getting a little bit more shine and getting the recognition that...
The Indiana Fever just shook up free agency like never before. They didn't just add players, they built a juggernaut. You know that feeling when you go all out in franchise mode on a video game? Well, that's exactly what Indiana just did. They went all in, loading up their roster with seasoned champions, fierce competitors, and players who've got both game and attitude. This wasn't just another off-season, it was a full-on power play.
Yes. Wait. Yep. You look good on me, huh? Look good. Like a whole 360. Like, I think I was talking to my wife about it. I'm like, man, what if I go back to Indiana where I started? That'd be crazy. Look where I'm at.
First up, they snagged Natasha Howard, a 3-time WNBA champion and one of the fiercest defensive forces around. Howard doesn't just defend, she shuts players down. Her ability to lock down anyone, protect the rim, and control the boards takes Indiana's defense to a whole new level.
Going for your services, DeWanna, so why was this the right opportunity for you?
I just feel like it was the location for one. My kids are literally right up the road, and I've spent a lot of time away from them, so that and the core that they have here now is just kind of want to fit in and be another piece of the puzzle and hopefully bring the energy dynamic and take us to a different level in the playoffs.
Next up, they brought in DeWanna Bonner, a scoring powerhouse who's a nightmare for any defender. Bonner adds leadership, championship pedigree, and that clutch gene that turns the Fever into a serious playoff contender.
In Sophie Cunningham, the Indiana Fever are trading for a multi-dimensional wing, capable of knocking down the 3-ball.
Cunningham is starting to cook. Cunningham 3 is good.
Cunningham from the corner, locking down defenders.
Several deflections, and this time she gets the steal and the N1 opportunity.
And they weren't finished yet. Enter Sophie Cunningham, a walking spark plug, bold, trash-talking, and always ready to ignite her team and the crowd. She thrives in clutch moments, playing with a chip on her shoulder, exactly the kind of energy Indiana was craving. And to cap it all off, they added Sydney Colson, a seasoned vet with championship DNA, the kind of player who holds it all together behind the scenes. Colson's leadership in the locker room will be just as vital as what she brings on the court. This isn't just a team full of talent, it's a roadmap to success. The Fever didn't sit around waiting for greatness. They went out and created it.
And that's where you brought up the Fever. I think what I've learned in my WNBA experience is pace of play trumps physicality, it trumps size, it can trump experience, because a lot of times when you're experienced, it's really like code word for your veteran, which is code word for your old.
Slow the pace.
Yeah. So I feel like
I know that's why you guys were so good for those
in
years.
2018 and 2020, the years we won, that was our whole mantra, was pace, 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 pace. And what I see in Caitlin...
For months, the media pushed the same old story. Nobody wants to play for Indiana. The franchise was labeled a dead zone, a place elite players wouldn't even think about. Analysts wrote off the Fever, critics laughed off any chance of big signings, and Sheryl Swoopes all but mocked the idea of Indiana drawing in top-tier free agents. To most, the Fever were just another struggling team with no real appeal in the league.
Her face, unable to hit. Bree Jones, another 0 board for Connecticut. Better look for Mabry. Off the mark.
But here we are now. Indiana didn't just sign free agents, they snagged some of the top talent out there. The same team everyone claimed couldn't draw stars just assembled one of the most lethal rosters in the WNBA. Natasha Howard, DeWanna Bonner, Sophie Cunningham, Sydney Colson. These aren't just bodies filling spots. These are game changers, battle-tested vets, players who could have signed anywhere but chose Indiana. That alone smashes the false narrative about the Fever being a dead-end destination. Now, the same analysts who wrote them off are scrambling. That nobody wants to play there, take, gone, like expired milk. The entire perception of the Fever flipped overnight, and it all boils down to one undeniable truth. They built a culture players want to be part of. With Caitlin Clark in the mix, a front office making bold moves, and a roster that's suddenly one of the league's best, Indiana isn't just back, they're a problem.
Oh, it's a triple-double for Caitlin. What a reaction by Kelsey. Well, how about the knowledgeable fans in this building? They burst out of their seats like it was a game winner.
Let's cut to the chase. This is the Caitlin Clark effect, plain and simple. Caitlin Clark isn't just any rookie trying to find her footing in the league. She's a franchise-changing force. The kind of player who doesn't just lift her team, but redefines the entire WNBA landscape. The Indiana Fever, a team that's been stuck in the mud for years, is suddenly the most talked about squad in the league, and that's no fluke. Clark's arrival has turned this franchise into a destination, one that's not only worth watching, but one that top players actually want to join.
Sophie, when you talk about the young girls that came in, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, rookie class, really hyping up the league coming from college to the WNBA, what has that done for you and the buzz of this entire league?
I think it's so positive. I really do. I think it's a fun time to be a part of the W. I truly believe that. I think the skill and the talent has always been there, but now it's just the viewership. And so I give a big old clap to the rookie class. I think that's a lot to deal with when you're at that age and you have that many eyes on you. But I think they've done a great job in the league as well. I think the physicality and all that they're going to get used to, but I think especially Caitlin Clark, she's been killing it.
When Sophie Cunningham signed with Indiana, she didn't sugarcoat it. Caitlin Clark was a factor. Players aren't just hearing about Clark's insane shooting range or flashy assists. They're hearing about her leadership, her competitive edge, and her ability to elevate those around her. That's the kind of player you want to play with. She's a magnet, drawing both talent and attention to a team that used to be flying under the radar.
I'm going to use her word. I want to see her continue to be a dog. She is a dog. Here's what I'll say about Angel. I love the fact that she's just her, right? And she says she's unapologetically Angel. She plays hard, both ends of the floor. It doesn't matter what the score is. The thing that I think people question wasn't so much about her game or her rebounding, but it was the scoring. And the fact that she is either averaging or almost averaging a double-double is pretty impressive to do from anybody, but in particular a rookie. I just love how she's come into this league. She's embraced the bumps, the bruises. She's embraced the good with the bad. And I love watching her play because she plays hard the entire game.
Let's talk about Cheryl Swoops. She thought Clark was overhyped. Just another college standout who'd take years to make her mark in the pros. But the truth? Clark is already leading the league in assists, dropping 40-point games like it's no big deal, and flipping the power dynamics in the WNBA. Indiana isn't just improving, they're becoming a serious threat, and Clark's the one making it happen.
Pin down here, wide open. We might need to update.
Caitlin Clark's impact goes way beyond what's happening on the court. Yeah, she's lighting up defenses and setting records, but what's unfolding off the floor is just as game-changing. She's driving record ticket sales, smashing TV viewership numbers, and getting people to care about the WNBA like never before. Every Fever game feels like an event, and any matchup with Clark, must-watch TV. This isn't just a rising star. This is a movement.
Swoops has it, turns in the air for the game.
Before becoming one of the most electrifying players in WNBA history, Cheryl Swoops was a sensation on the college stage, leading Texas Tech to the 1993 NCAA title with a record-setting 47-point performance in the championship game.
Cheryl Swoops didn't see this coming. She thought Clark would have to earn her place, struggle, and prove herself over time. Instead, Clark stepped into the league and immediately took it by storm. Now, she's the main reason why the Indiana Fever has become the go-to spot for top-tier talent. Players want to team up with her, coaches want to build around her, and fans can't get enough. The old guard of the WNBA wasn't ready for this, but now they've got no choice but to accept it. For years, the WNBA waited for a player who could change the game, someone who could bring mainstream attention, pack arenas, and spark a real shift in the sport. The truth? That player's already here. Caitlin Clark isn't waiting her turn. She's rewriting the rules in real time. The offseason at the Indiana Fever is on fire. Rumors about Nelissa Smith are swirling, and tensions between her and Caitlin Clark are reaching a boiling point. Let's dive into the drama and uncover what's really going on once and for all. The Indiana Fever have had an amazing season with remarkable highs and challenging lows, but nothing could have prepared them for the shock caused by Nelissa Smith's actions, which many see as an unexpected betrayal. Smith's recent behavior has created friction within the team and has fans questioning the future of the Indiana Fever. We'll explore the controversy, fan and teammate reactions, and the potential consequences for both Smith and the Fever. It all started with a tweet. Nelissa Smith posted a photo of herself in a purple car with the caption, "Purple looks good on us." This innocent post caught the attention of Paige Buchers, a standout college basketball player, who responded with fire emojis. Smith's reply, "You just gotta let him be delusional," sparked rumors about her future with the Fever. The timing was bad, as the Fever were celebrating Caitlin Clark's record-breaking 35-point game, securing the 6th playoff seed after an impressive 18-10 run following a poor 2-9 start. Instead of focusing on their resurgence, Smith's tweet brought attention to internal conflicts. Sources say Caitlin Clark confronted Smith about the tweet, questioning her commitment and highlighting Smith's dissatisfaction with her role and playing time. During the regular season finale against the Dallas Wings, Smith started the game, scored 8 points, and grabbed 6 rebounds in 19 minutes before being benched for the second half. Frustrated, she posted, "Fun while it lasted, babe," in response to her girlfriend's supportive message, hinting at tensions with teammates and coaching staff. The public reaction was swift and harsh. Fans flooded social media with calls for Smith's removal, using hashtags like #TeamCaitlin and #TeamNelissa. Many felt betrayed by her perceived lack of loyalty, especially given her strong performances and high expectations. Sports analysts debated whether Smith's actions were due to deeper team issues or mere miscommunication. Some defended her frustrations over reduced playing time, while others criticized her professionalism and its impact on team morale. Head coach Christy Sides is in a tough spot, trying to maintain team unity while addressing the backlash. She issued a statement about handling matters privately, but insiders say she's deeply concerned about the situation's impact on the playoffs. Several options are being considered: team meeting and reconciliation, addressing issues directly to encourage open communication, disciplinary action, ranging from fines to temporary suspension to reinforce team cohesion, trade speculations, exploring trade options, though Smith is under contract until 2026. Public apology. Smith could apologize publicly to mend relationships and quell fan outrage. Meanwhile, Nelissa Smith remains active on social media. Fans are questioning her commitment to the game as she continues to clash out with her star teammate Clark. People are wondering, is this all because of jealousy, due to Caitlin stealing the spotlight? Smith's on-court performance has declined in the last season, averaging 10.5 points and 7.2 rebounds per game, down from last year's 15.5 points and 9.2 rebounds. Her playing time has also decreased from 30.7 minutes in 2022 to 25 minutes now. The Fever exercised their fourth-year option on her contract, securing her through 2025 with a salary increase next year. While her financial future with the team is secure, her role and satisfaction remain uncertain, as it's very likely we will not see her return after this upcoming season. Whether this incident becomes a catalyst for growth or a source of division depends on how the Fever, especially Smith and Clark, choose to move forward. This controversy also highlights the broader impact of social media on professional sports, reminding athletes to balance personal expression with professional responsibilities.